Imagine waking up one day to find that everything you thought you knew was a lie, that your world was only a shadow of the truth. This is the powerful core of Plato's Allegory of the Cave, a tale that has intrigued, puzzled, and inspired thinkers for over 2 millennia. But what does this story truly reveal about perception and the nature of reality? Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher and student of Socrates, presented this allegory in the Republic to illustrate the effects of education on the human soul. The story begins in a dark, dimly lit cave where prisoners have been shackled since childhood. They sit facing a blank wall, unable to turn their heads, while behind them, unseen, is a fire-casting light. Between the fire and the prisoners, there is a raised path where figures pass, carrying objects that project shadows onto the wall. For these prisoners, the shadows are the only reality they know. They assign names, emotions, and stories to these silhouettes, convinced that they comprehend the full truth of their existence. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Suppose one of these prisoners is freed. Initially, he is blinded by the fire's light, overwhelmed and disoriented. As his eyes adjust, he begins to see that the shadows were mere projections and that the objects behind him are the true forms. But what happens when he is dragged, trembling and reluctant, out of the cave into the open world? The realization of true reality. Once outside, the former prisoner experiences something beyond his wildest imagination: the sun. The sun illuminates the world and reveals its splendor, the vibrant hues of the landscape, the rush of rivers, the gentle rustling of leaves. At first, the brightness is painful, it's a harsh contrast to the darkness of the cave. But slowly, he understands that this light is the source of all life and knowledge. It dawns on him that the sun is to the visible world what truth and reason are to the realm of thought. He realizes that reality was not on the walls of the cave but in the world outside, resplendent and infinite. A return to ignorance? The allegory does not end there. Plato adds another twist: the enlightened prisoner, moved by compassion and a sense of duty, decides to return to the cave to share his newfound understanding. But in the darkness, he is met with ridicule and disbelief. His former companions cannot grasp the concept of a world beyond the shadows. They think he has lost his sanity, and some even resist so fiercely that they might kill anyone who dares disrupt their comfortable illusion. The cave as a metaphor for human perception. Plato's allegory is more than just an ancient parable, it is a profound examination of human perception. It suggests that our senses and experiences, much like the shadows in the cave, may not be accurate reflections of reality. What we see, hear, and feel are filtered through the limitations of our minds, shaped by culture, past experiences, and inherent biases. Reality, according to Plato, lies beyond our immediate perceptions. It is an ultimate truth accessible only through rigorous questioning and philosophical reasoning. Modern interpretations: the cave in today's world. Fast forward to today, and the allegory resonates more than ever. an age of curated social media feeds, algorithm-driven content, and virtual realities, we must ask ourselves, are we prisoners in a new kind of cave? Are the images we consume and the narratives we construct true reflections of the world, or are they shadows on a digital wall? Neuroscientists echo similar sentiments with their research on how our brains interpret sensory data. The mind is not a passive receiver but an active constructor of reality. It takes the electrical signals from our eyes, ears, and skin and weaves them into an intricate, coherent experience. Yet, even this internal reality can be influenced by expectations, emotions, and cognitive biases. This modern scientific perspective deepens Plato's insight: perception is not objective. What we see and believe is, in many ways, a shadow. Philosophical implications: the search for truth. The allegory challenges us to think about the process of enlightenment. True knowledge, Plato argues, is not easy to attain. It requires the courage to step out of the familiar darkness and face the dazzling, sometimes painful light of new ideas. This journey is not just intellectual but existential, questioning beliefs that form the very foundation of our understanding. And for those who seek this higher truth, there is always the risk of alienation. Just as the free prisoner faced rejection upon returning, those who challenge conventional beliefs may be met with skepticism or hostility. Are we ready to leave the cave? So, where does that leave us? The allegory of the cave is a timeless call to awareness, a reminder that what we take for granted as real might only be a fraction of the truth. It asks us to become the prisoner who dares to stand up, turn around, and walk toward the light, even if the journey is uncomfortable. It suggests that reality is more complex than the immediate and that understanding requires us to question, explore, and sometimes abandon our shadows for the greater light. Are we willing to step out of the cave, challenge our perceptions, and seek the truths hidden beyond the wall of shadows? Plato leaves that decision up to each of us.